Sensorina, the first time I ever heard about it was my dad brought a headset home, and he was like, "Hey, check this out! There's this goalie game. We get to play goalie on the virtual reality." And at this time, I hadn't even heard much about virtual reality at all, let alone a hockey or goaltending, app for it. And the way he had explained it to me was more, it was like an arcade game, and I was like, "Oh yeah, it's a fun game." And to me, at first, the way it was explained to me was it was going to be more of like a fun game. Little did I know that it was going to be an incredibly vital training tool that is a huge part of my everyday routine. And I think that's kind of what's funny about it, is that I had no idea that it was going to be, like I said, such a big part of my everyday, day to day as a professional hockey player. And I think now, looking back, I wish I knew earlier that it was going to be so important, because I didn't start using it for a couple of years after that. That was probably 5-6 years ago. And like I said, now it's part of the everyday for me. I've been using it the last couple seasons, before every game, and a lot of times on off days, or if I'm not skating at morning skate, or we have a day off practice or something. I love to use it, even if it's just for a quick couple minutes. It has helped my game in a bunch of different ways. I actually think, funny enough, for me personally, the best way it's helped me is dealing with traffic, because you can simulate stuff that's really hard to simulate in practice. Dealing with screens and not being able to see the puck as well. When you use the Sensorina for that, it's amazing, and that's the biggest reason why I love it. I find that it's amazing at keeping my eyes sharp and my hands sharp when we're not practicing or just preparing for the game. There's so many ways that it's important to me. For each player and each goalie, you have to find what works best for you, and how you can find your 1% separator. For me, Sensorina is a huge part of that. I started incorporating it in the last couple seasons, and now it's, in the last 2 years specifically, it's become a huge part of my everyday routine. And I think if for me personally, I find that it's a way that I can keep improving my game, stay sharp with my game. And I think that's, for me, is an amazing way to just try to find that extra 1%. I would tell them that it's a great tool, and I think you do have to be cognizant of the fact that the best thing for any hockey player is to play hockey. But this is a way, if you don't have ice, if you don't have the opportunity to have someone shoot on you, if you're a goalie and you're not playing a lot of games, in junior or high school or whatever it may be, is an extra way to see more shots. There's lots of different ways that this can be used and utilized, and I think just finding the best way to utilize it for you is very important. For me, when I'm playing a lot of games, I don't use it that much, but I still hop on before every game to get sharp and just tune up before the game. If I'm not starting that many games, I'm using it a ton to get extra reps in. So finding the best way to use it for you, I think, is the most important. The Sensorina is so realistic, and I love using the video drills, because I find that those are the best for me in terms of utilizing it in the most realistic way. But it's so realistic and can help you achieve so many different things that, like I said, it's how you best want to utilize it. For me, I love working through traffic, and I love getting my hands going and tracking the puck with my eyes. I think as goalies, seeing the puck accurately and clearly is the most important thing, and that's the best part of Sensorina, is working to find the puck, tracking it with your eyes. And then for me, I notice that if I use it before I skate, before I play a game, my tracking's way better, my hands are much more efficient. I find that it's just an incredible tool for me. I think especially for the young kids, it's more about just seeing shots. The more shots you see, there's that book about getting 10,000 hours, and I think the same can be applied for hockey, is just seeing more pucks. As goalies, we're gonna see millions of shots over the years if you play till you're professional, and the more shots you see, the more effective you're going to be at reading releases, reading shots, reacting properly and more efficiently. And I think that's an area that's probably the most one of the most important parts of goaltending. I think it's great for Sensorina, obviously, to have that partnership with the NHL, but I think it's good for the NHL as well. I think that this is the direction that the world is going, and I think now for kids to be able to turn on the game, and it's like be a pro when you're playing NHL as a kid, and you make yourself and you picture yourself playing for your favorite NHL team one day. I know I did it when I was little, and I think it's a very unique experience to have that, and it's just another way that kids are going to get inspired and want to chase their dreams, and then at the same time they're using a tool that's going to help them get there. So I think it's a win-win all around.